Hey parents, I hope you are doing well. I'm excited to spend a second talking to you about another one of the 10 Commandments of Hayes Hills Kids. Remember that these 10 Commandments are my way of summarizing our child protection policy. And you can see the entire child protection policy in full detail by going to our website and downloading a copy from the elementary or preschool pages. So you can check it all out there. These 10 Commandments, like I said, summarize that whole document. And today I'm going to read and talk about Commandment number 5. It says, we will only use appropriate physical touch at Hayes Hills Kids. So when we have your kids in our care, when it comes to physical touch, we will only use appropriate physical touch. And what does appropriate physical touch look like? Normally, physical touch that would be appropriate looks like a high five, a handshake, a side hug, things along those lines. Touch that still allows for physical contact, human contact that is developmentally appropriate and healthy and helpful, but also respects a child's personal space, their body, and keeps everything safe. Now, because we're still in this time where we're responding to and dealing with COVID, and social distancing is something we're still practicing, we are having people who work with kids emphasize things like air high fives, an elbow bump, and the thumbs up, lots of extra smiles, those sorts of things. When social distancing is something that we don't necessarily have to keep practicing in order to maintain maximum health, then we will allow everybody to go back to high fives and side hugs and that kind of a thing. But that category of physical touch is what we mean by appropriate physical touch. We understand that physical touch is healthy and developmentally appropriate, but we also understand that everybody has their own personal space, and so we want to make sure that personal touch occurs appropriately, which is why we have guidelines. We want to respect children and their personal space and their bodies, which is why we also tell volunteers that if a child does not want a high five or a side hug or a handshake, that they're not to give that to the child. The child is the one who gets to determine physical touch for themselves because it's the child's body and the child's personal space, and we need to respect that. We also have this rule in place as a great way to keep our wonderful volunteers free from accusation. By having a clear policy on what appropriate physical touch is and what touch isn't appropriate, our volunteers know what is good to go and not good to go. And if anybody were to try to accuse someone, we can clearly say, hey, nope, here's our policy. Here's how we see that they followed it. Everybody is good to go. We love and care for your children. We also love and care for the volunteers who work with them. There's a little bit more about our policy to have appropriate physical touch. If you have any questions about this or anything else, feel free to shoot me an email, ethan@hayeshills.com.